Greetings, fellow humans, it is I, Mr. Sabman, and on this video, we are going to take a look at what if Qui-Gon Jinn trained Anakin Skywalker. Now, I've seen a bunch of videos that have different theories about this, and I've been thinking about this since I saw the movie back in the late 90s. What would happen if Anakin Skywalker was trained by Qui-Gon Jinn? This is my take on it, good old Mr. Sabman, so let's go back to episode 1, where Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon faced off against the Sith assassin Darth Maul. While Obi-Wan is cut off from the battle, Qui-Gon scores a killing blow to Maul, winning the duel. The two Jedi return to the temple, and Qui-Gon is given the okay to train young Anakin Skywalker as his Padawan. Obi-Wan Kenobi faces the trials and becomes a Jedi Knight, and then takes on a Padawan of his own. Anakin Skywalker now faces training under Qui-Gon Jinn, who is a very strong father figure to him. Because of this, Anakin becomes more disciplined and learns to be more patient. Qui-Gon's teachings suit Anakin much better than Obi-Wan's. He develops a more serious mind, and his skills with the Force and a lightsaber are more greatly honed. Anakin no longer feels held back as Qui-Gon pushes him to his limits. This turn in the story would push back the beginning of the Clone Wars significantly, as Count Dooku's turn to the dark side would have happened much later because Qui-Gon was still alive. He would still turn because of his frustrations with the Jedi and the influence of Darth Sidious. But the time frame shifted, allowing more time to pass. This would allow for Anakin to pass his trials and become a knight well before the Clone Wars. Anakin and Qui-Gon also rescued Anakin's mother when she was captured by the Sand People. Shmi and her husband Klieg would live happily ever after. Now think of the beginning of Episode 2, with Anakin and his Padawan Ahsoka Tano charged with protecting Padme Amidala. Anakin's feelings for Padme will be strong as ever, but he didn't let it show, except for some highly intelligent flirtation. The events of Episode 2 would proceed as they did, but only about 10 years later. Anakin and Ahsoka will be charged with protecting Padme on Naboo. Anakin and Padme would still fall in love and get captured on Geonosis while trying to save Obi-Wan and his Padawan. So now it looks like this. Anakin, Padme, Ahsoka, Obi-Wan, and his Padawan all chained to pillars in the arena on Geonosis. They of course get free and start fighting the creatures trying to kill them. Then, out of nowhere, Masters Mace Windu and Qui-Gon Jinn appear from the shadows and confront Count Dooku. Dozens of Jedi pour into the arena and the battle ensues. Jango Fett and his clone son Boba begin to fight off the Jedi Masters, sending them both down into the arena. Before the Jedi have a chance to be overwhelmed by the droids, Master Yoda shows up with the clone troopers. As Dooku flees, he is pursued by Qui-Gon, Anakin, and Ahsoka in the Republic ship. They catch up to him in the hangar like before. Qui-Gon tells Anakin and Ahsoka to stand back as he alone duels Count Dooku. The Jedi Master and now Sith Lord fight it out in a duel of epic proportions. This allows time for Master Yoda to arrive and assist Qui-Gon. The two Masters overwhelm Dooku and take him prisoner. With that, they also get a hold of the plans to build the Death Star. This would be a major victory for the Jedi. Anakin and Padme would marry, but would be more mature and better able to handle their situation. Qui-Gon even gives his blessing, as he had foreseen Anakin having children. Luke and Leia would be born a year after the wedding, and they grew up with Padme and her family on Naboo, with Anakin visiting as much as he possibly could. Now, Darth Sidious's plan would get pushed back even more, but he is patient and calculated, and he's nowhere near ready to give up. He would put into motion plans for Dooku's escape and rally more systems to join the Separatists. It would take more time, but the droid armies would grow strong, and then the Clone Wars would truly begin. Anakin Skywalker, now made a master by the Jedi Council, would score major victories in the Clone Wars along with Jedi Knight Ahsoka Tano. Still only a knight, Obi-Wan Kenobi found himself conflicted after losing his Padawan at the Battle of Geonosis. He began to become jealous of Anakin and his promotion to Master. He would often be found sulking in the Jedi archives. Qui-Gon Jinn, sensing Obi-Wan's anger, confronted him. They had a heated argument, and Obi-Wan ignited his lightsaber and thrust it through Qui-Gon's chest. Obi-Wan dropped to his knees. Tears poured from his eyes. "What have I done?" he said. Then through the Force, he felt something calling him. It was Sidious. Obi-Wan left the temple to seek out the Dark Lord of the Sith. Qui-Gon's body was found by a group of younglings who had been playing in the temple. They called for Master Skywalker. Anakin raced to the chamber where Qui-Gon's body lay cold. Who could have done this? Anakin thought. After reviewing the security footage, they saw what Obi-Wan had done. The Jedi who weren't fighting off in the war went to look for Obi-Wan, but had no success. Obi-Wan met Darth Sidious in his hideout on Coruscant. There, the Dark Lord turned the once noble knight to the dark side of the Force. Obi-Wan's fall was complete. He lost his true self and became an apprentice to Lord Sidious. With the war nearly at an end, the Jedi and the clone troopers had the Confederacy on its knees. Count Dooku and General Grievous were hiding on Utapau. There they had a flimsy battalion of battle droids and Magna Guards. Anakin and Ahsoka were on their way to put an end to Dooku and Grievous. Master Mace Windu was troubled by the death of Qui-Gon Jinn. He had been looking into what made Obi-Wan kill his master. He was going through Qui-Gon's things and found a holocron that the fallen master had used to record all of his experience to pass on to future generations of Jedi. On this holocron, Mace discovered the knowledge to maintain consciousness when transforming into the Force upon death, plus a theory that Chancellor Palpatine was the Dark Lord of the Sith. When Mace played Qui-Gon's recording about the Chancellor, it all clicked into place. It was finally time to confront the Dark Lord. On Utapau, Anakin and Ahsoka made quick work of the droids and made their way to Grievous and Dooku. Anakin drew his blade and challenged Dooku. Ahsoka powered up her sabers and charged at Grievous. Grievous managed to block a few of her attacks at first, but Ahsoka's speed and ability in the Force turned him into a pile of scrap in no time flat. Anakin had become such a powerful Jedi. The Force was his ally, and he had total control of his anger and fear. Dooku never stood a chance. He was defeated, and his corpse lay next to what was left of General Grievous. Master Windu made his way to the Chancellor's office with a couple of other Jedi Masters. They marched into Palpatine's lair. Mace stated that they were there to arrest him, and he should come quietly. Palpatine ignited his lightsaber and killed all of the other Masters except for Mace. Then the two dueled it out until Mace had the Chancellor dead to rights. Just then, Obi-Wan came out of nowhere and stabbed Mace in the back with his now red lightsaber. Palpatine was pleased with Obi-Wan. With Dooku now dead, Obi-Wan was now a Dark Lord of the Sith. His eyes almost glowed yellow. There were cracks and crags in his face and dark circles around his eyes. He was consumed with the dark side, twisted and evil. It was then Darth Sidious issued Order 66. Obi-Wan was tasked with purging the Jedi at the temple. With a legion of clone troopers, Obi-Wan obliterated every one last Jedi, Padawan, and youngling inside the temple without mercy. Anakin and Ahsoka had little time to enjoy their victory as the clone troopers turned on them. As powerful as they were, they barely got out alive. Once off the planet, they made contact with Bail Organa, who already had Master Yoda with him. Darth Sidious instructed Obi-Wan to go to Mustafar and kill the Viceroy of the Trade Federation. He went there and killed them all without mercy. It was there he waited for his master's next command. Anakin, Ahsoka, and Yoda went to the Jedi Temple in hopes to find some answers. They only found pain. They saw all the Jedi and the younglings die at the hands of the clone troopers and Obi-Wan. Anakin went to Mustafar to stop Obi-Wan. Yoda went to confront Lord Sidious, and Ahsoka went with Master Yoda. Anakin approached the landing pad on the volcanic planet known as Mustafar. As he landed, he noticed that Obi-Wan was waiting for him. Anakin got off his ship and confronted the fallen knight. Anakin pleaded with him to stop this madness and come back to the light. Obi-Wan just snarled and attacked him. The two went on to fight. Obi-Wan's hate made him extremely powerful, but in the end he was no match for Jedi Master Anakin Skywalker. Anakin cut him in half and hurled his body into the lava. Master Yoda and Ahsoka approached the Chancellor's chamber beneath the Senate floor. Master Yoda instructed her to stay hidden and surprise Darth Sidious when the time was right. The two exchanged force attacks, both of them matching each other every single time. Then they ignited their lightsabers. They dueled it out, matching each other with every strike. Then the two got stuck in a saber lock. Out of nowhere, Ahsoka zipped by them in a complete blur. Her force speed ability was unmatched. Palpatine just stopped and dropped his lightsaber. Ahsoka had cut him in half. He fell to the floor in 2 pieces. Ahsoka then pushed her blade into the back of his skull, just to be sure. The remaining Jedi made their way back to the temple. It was rebuilt, and the Order was ready to begin again. Anakin's children, along with Padme, moved into the temple, where the young ones would begin their Jedi training. Ahsoka Tano was granted the rank of Master, and Yoda made Anakin Jedi Grand Master. Bail Organa was elected the Supreme Chancellor of the Republic, and everyone had peace. Well, that's my take on what would have happened had Qui-Gon Jinn trained Anakin Skywalker. Again, this is just my theory. This is just what I thought might have happened, what I thought would have been interesting. If you enjoyed this, be sure to give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, or subscribe, as I would greatly appreciate it. And let me tell you something, the Force will always be with you. Until next time, this is Mr. Sabman. Keep it real, never say die. I'll check you again later.